The first step is to use a hair dryer to remove any dust particles on the screen. They do this at very low heat so it doesn't damage the iPad. The next step is to apply the front screen shield onto the screen of the iPad. You can see how large the screen shield is. This is not an easy task. That's why it's great to have, in my case, a resource like this professionally install the screen. You can see the application solution being applied to both the screen, the shield, and the installer's fingertips to make sure that it lines up properly. So he lays it down just like he would any old screen shield, making sure that it's straight, and then he smooths it out flat, making sure that the screen shield is lined up perfectly along the screen of the iPad. Once that's done, he'll then spray the top surface just so that the squeegee slides along it nicely, and he starts to remove the excess liquid from the underside of the clear coat. And he does this from side to side, kind of dabbing the solution as he goes and removing it. And then once he's done the sides, he moves it up to the top of the iPad, and all the solution kind of comes out the top. He uses a paper towel there to wipe any excess solution away, and you can see it kind of shooting out the top, and that's where all the excess solution kind of ends up. Some of it ends up on the floor, but he uses the paper towel to kind of soak up most of the actual liquid. And again, he goes back and forth between paper towel and a squeegee, smoothing out any of the bubbles that might be under there, getting rid of any of the solution. There you can see a close-up of how good this looks. Again, it's only been on there for all of 30 seconds, but you can see just how great it looks. If there's any sort of problem, like any hair or dust, he removes it, sprays a little solution there, he removes whatever was causing a bubble, and then he lays the shield, the clear coat, back down onto the screen and continues with the installation process. So, it's not a perfect process by any means, but once it's done, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Again, he just removed a piece of dust, a little bit more solution, and he's ready to place the clear coat screen shield back onto the iPad itself. Here's the finished screen with the clear coat installed. You can see it looks absolutely gorgeous. Next in the process is installing the back protector. He first wipes down the back of the iPad to make sure there's no dust particles or anything like that on the back of the device. Just like the screen, the back is one large piece that he will apply, again, using solution, spraying a little bit on the back, a little bit on both sides of the shield, and a little bit on his fingertips. The back goes on easier. The screen is obviously harder because it's so clear and every little particle shows up. So the back is a little bit easier, and there's nothing really, to line up too terribly. There's no home button that he has to worry about. He just kind of lays it on straight and then uses a squeegee again to go side to side to get all the excess solution out and make sure there's no air bubbles or anything like that. If there are any bubbles, sometimes there might be one or two. Those generally will dissipate over time, though. Again, when you leave, it generally looks like there's no shield on your device at all. So he's now wiping away the excess moisture with a paper towel, again, going from side to side, pushing it out. And again, back to the squeegee just to make sure there's no solution still remaining underneath the clear coat shield on the back of the device. There you can see a close-up of the finished install on the back. It looks absolutely gorgeous once again. There are 6 side pieces that go along the edges of the iPad in between the screen and the back. They're very thin. He doesn't use any solution for these just because it makes it a lot easier to install. And he simply does one at a time and works his way around the device. If he makes a mistake, if he puts it on incorrectly, it's very easy to remove it and reapply it in the proper way. And once these are on, it's very hard to tell they're even there. You almost don't even notice the side pieces are on the device itself at all. So here we are finishing up the last small strip. Again, remember there's 6 strips that create this seal, clear coat, if you will, along the sides of the iPad. He's finishing up the last strip now. Literally every nook and cranny of the iPad is covered. Unlike the iPhone clear coat where some of the chrome is exposed, for the clear coat for iPad, they decided to cover every little piece of it. And like I said, he's now finishing up with the last remaining strips. And once it's done, he will wrap the iPad in a paper towel to protect it. You do have to let your iPad sit for 2 hours or so for the clear coat to fully adhere to your device. And once the 2 hours is up, it's ready to use. And again, it's as if there is nothing on your iPad whatsoever. So here he is wrapping the iPad in a paper towel to protect it for the trip home. So here is the finished clear coat. You can see the screen itself. It looks absolutely amazing. It's hard for me to pick it up on camera at how good it actually looks. But like I said, it's as if there's nothing on the screen. You can't even tell there's a shield installed. As far as fingerprints go, it does pick them up, but I have to say it's not nearly as bad as with nothing on there. The iPad is definitely a fingerprint magnet, but using this shield on here, there's definitely not as many fingerprints. So there's a look at the front. Here's the back itself. Again, quick wipe down every once in a while, and you're good to go. The back doesn't show any sort of fingerprints at all. You can hardly tell it's there. Same goes for the side pieces. That really goes to show you that, it's almost impossible to tell. I mean, if you look up close, you can see where the edges are. Not even sure if you can pick those up on camera. Yeah, you probably can. But again, it's so hardly noticeable. It's so insignificant that it's, absolutely gorgeous looking. The clear coat, I can't recommend it enough. So as far as pricing on the clear coat goes, for a full body shield, these shields sell for $39.95, and then they charge $15 to have them professionally installed. So you're talking about $50. It's not cheap, but it's definitely worth it. If you plan to use your iPad in kind of the naked form, definitely worth it as far as I'm concerned. I mean, the iPad is not light, it's heavy. You might want to use it without a case, maybe a pouch style. That's how I plan to use it, with a pouch style case and the clear coat on it. And that's how I'm going to roll with it. So thanks for watching. That's been a quick look at the clear coat full body shield for the iPad. If you have any questions about this or anything else, feel free to drop me a line. Otherwise, you have a great day.